Welcome to our Rolemaster Actual play session. Twilight of the Old Order is a campaign set in the world of Duranarki, the continent of men. In this gritty, cutthroat world, politics, religion, and commerce are all intertwined and reign supreme. Characters need to be both smart and ruthless to survive. We hope you enjoy our story, and, as always, may the dice roll in your favor. This is episode 99 of Twilight of the Old Order. The Twilight Party have arrived in the free city of Jaeda and Retana and are planning their next move. We pick up the story for Severin, Nicholas, Taneya and Grey as they watch Jaeda and Askel entering the Grand Ulaya of Retana to seek help from someone of the faith to rid Jaeda of the cursed item she wears. Hello, I'm Chris, otherwise known as GM Chance, and welcome to our story. On screen are the champions, on screen are the characters in play tonight. And in 2 ticks, I'm going to hand over to each of the players that play those characters to introduce their characters a bit and also answer a character development question, or indeed throw over another question to another member of the party. Before I do, 2 quick notes from me. Just a really quick thanks to all of our loyal followers and indeed listeners. The numbers of our community are modest currently, but rapidly growing, are increasing. We really appreciate it. This is our hobby. We do this for fun, and it's fantastic that people are interested in our story, interested in the characters that we play, interested in our tale, interested in our hobby. And we've been recently receiving some really nice positive comments, some interesting questions. Please keep them coming. You're all very welcome. Love more questions, love more comments. I guess a plea from us to you: if you're enjoying our stories, if you get something out of it, if you find yourself laughing, or you find yourself going, that was an interesting moment, or if you're a game master and you learn something from listening to how we play, and I don't know about you, I listen to a lot of these types of listen and watch to a number of these different streams, and I always pick up something. Our plea is, do give us a thumbs up, or even better, give us a subscribe if you think if you're finding the channel is worthwhile. That's the first thing I wanted to say. The second was a thank you to our very own Graham for producing 2 very useful assets for our game. This game was recorded quite a long way into, we started recording this game, I should say, a long way into when we actually started playing. So we started playing in July 2019. It's now it's August 2023, and we started recording these games about 6 months ago. Graham has very kindly produced an overview video, a very short 5-minute overview video, which brings a viewer or a listener up to speed on what's happened previously in the game. And there is also a slightly more lengthy document which provides an interesting overview of a bit more detail about the story. If you are interested in learning more, those 2 assets, those 2 items, are in the comment section below this video, or the description section below. Have a look and have a read. Right, that's it from me. I am going to hand over to Pete to kick us off tonight. Pete, take it away, please.
Kia ora. My name's Pete, and I'm going to be playing Nicholas tonight. So Nicholas is a human, common man, and he is a mentat by profession, which is just sort of a bit of a slightly odd mentalism spell user. So his His spells are to do with minds and people's thinking and changing behaviours and people's perceptions. Mentalists tend to be quite subtle spell users. Nicholas is a very unassuming guy, and he prefers to just be out of the limelight and out of the spotlight. Just likes to observe people a lot, in a really lovely and not at all strange way. Character question he's going to answer tonight is the one about what was his favourite day. And as a spell user, I would say that his favourite day is any day he goes up a level, basically. And I suppose what that would mean in his experience of the world, when we go up levels, spells that we've been studying for a while and had to spend game time studying and everything, suddenly I suppose they click into place, and suddenly, on that day, he can now use those spells that he's been studying. I suppose that's what it would feel like going up a level in terms of, for magic users, learning their spells. So yeah, any day when he is able to finally achieve, or finally be able to use these spells that he's been studying for a while is a good day by him. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Pete.
Question for Nicholas.
Yes.
Given, Nicholas is such a, as you say, a subtle spell user, can you tell us anything about your interest in demonology? And specifically the time you summoned a demon without warning into a crowded space.
To be fair, I don't know that any of the characters. Well, I suppose I'm answering as Severin asking Nicholas, or just for, I suppose, out of game, just for people's knowledge. So he just happens to have a spell list that's got a demonic possession spell on it.
It happens.
It's the same spell list he used to on that cat. He did a mind invasion on that cat. So it's a spell list about the ways in which people can take over minds, basically. And one of those ways, I suppose, is to open the door for demons to get in. So he does not have a particular knowledge or interest in demons or demonology.
It's not subtle.
I believe you. Look, everyone needs a hobby.
That just happens to be on the spell list. It's the only spell he's got of that kind. He also does have a skill, has knowledge of demon lore, but that's because he's an academic.
Okay, I believe you.
Thousands wouldn't. Graham, since you have the microphone, would you like to take it away, please, for introducing your characters?
Sure. I'm playing two characters today, and the first is a guy called Severin Kydegard. He's a Northman, and he is a stocky swordsman. Pretty bulky bloke, a bit of a dab hand with a sword. In fact, he's a bit of a obsessed with swordplay and has been since he was a small child, and has really devoted his life to that skill. But he's pretty good humoured, quite a nice chap, really good company. Very charming when he turns his hand to it. But can be slightly annoying as well. He has high expectations of the rest of the party, so he can grate. He likes to try and coordinate things. He's into sort of strategic thinking, but he can go on a bit. His character question today is, what's your favourite day and why? Well, let's be confident. Day 0 is his favourite day, when the TTP plans will dramatically fail, and Torvash Pipalus' head will be mounted on Severin's sword. Let's think positively.
There you go.
And then second character is Taneya. Taneya Anastasia. She is a wood elf and a hunter by profession, and she is quite a reserved person. Some would say aloof. She received a very privileged upbringing. She knows her manners. She's very well educated, and she's very well dressed. She's not difficult to look at. She's also pretty damn deadly with the bow these days, and certainly that's her weapon of choice. Not easy to get to know. She can be a bit spiky, but pretty handy in a tight space. Her development question: what is something your character feels most guilty about, and why? I think, look, she's still pretty cut up about the death of her father, and I think she felt she was doing the right thing by trying to seek cash to try and defend his name, and now he's ended up dead. She wonders, whether she just should have been with him all along to try and protect him. And so she feels pretty cut up and a bit confused and torn by that thought.
Cool. Okay. Thank you. Nice one. Let's go to Stara, please.
I'm playing a Jaeda. Very tall, great green eyes, a healer, very religious into the Altuma faith.
Hmm?
I'm going to say Altwoma.
Altuma. That's it.
Don't know my own religion. Typically hidden behind a face scarf and very reserved.
Hmm?
Not always. And can fight with a quarterstaff.
Cool. Thank you very much. Lovely. And your question?
Oh, her favourite day. Favourite day is God's Day, 5th of Rain, and it's because it's all about revering God. It's a day where you give thanks, so there's lots of yummy food.
Excellent. Cool. Yeah, great. Fantastic. Let's go to Anthony.
Does anyone want to ask me about my faith?
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Anyone want to join? Nope.
Do you still own that lovely clasp you used to have? Do you still have that, or is
Okay, someone else's turn.
On that note,
Oh, hang on. I've got to be very reserved and quiet now. Bye.
on that note, I'm playing. Waiting for it to pop up. Yeah, I'm playing Askel. He's a tall half-elf warrior mage who at times couldn't hit the side of a barn door or a small demon dog, for that matter. Askel comes from the port city, and according to his favourite weapon is his trusty cutlass, if he had it on him. He's hasn't been a strong believer of the Altuma faith, but after the last events, he's maybe rethinking that. And that's Askel.
Okay.
His question was, what is something your character feels most guilty about, and why? The things he's had to do to some unfortunates because of a strong influence in his life. He's feeling starting to feel very torn. The further he's away from this influence, or the more time he's away from this influence, the more torn he's been feeling about it. So yeah, that's Askel.
Interesting. Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Question for Askel.
Yeah, go.
Now, you are the same faith as Jaeda. Why are you not as religious, as extremely religious as she?
Different upbringing. When my parents disappeared when I was a bit younger, disappeared off, and so I guess it was raised by one family member, one parent, and and I guess they weren't as strong a believer as the other parent, so hence could have ended up different couple of ways, but yeah.
Oh, thanks. That's interesting. My parents disappeared as well. Yeah.
Well, I am half elf and you're full human, so.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you very much. Very good. And last but absolutely no means least, can we go to our favourite nipple-bearing half-elf, Grey, played by Aiden.
Hello, my name is Aiden, and I play Grey. He is half-elf with, yes, very, very beautiful nipples, sported on a very beautiful chest. He's a handsome man, but he's not great with his words, although he is getting better at words, having recently learnt to read. It's very exciting. He's pretty handy with his axe, but he's even better with casting beast mastery magic, and he's just learned how to do some other magic as well, but that might come into play later on. His favorite. What was it going to be? His favorite day. Doesn't have too many favorite days in his past. He had a pretty horrific early start to his life. Lots of murder, lots of sadness. But recently, he's learnt to read, which has been very exciting for him. I'd say that's probably one of his favourite days, was the day he first realised he knew what he was doing when it comes to reading. Pretty
Cool.
exciting for him.
Oh, nice one. And something about Grey, the way that Grey has just evolved in this story is he comes across as a bit dim. He's absolutely not. Like he's got a very high intelligence or reasoning in the Rolemaster system. It just happens that he's interacting with people whose language he's not so good with, and he is slowly getting better at learning, as well as learning to read. He's slowly getting better at learning the language that most people are speaking. But yeah, the thought that Grey is dim is definitely not the case. He just often doesn't have the words he would normally like to have.
He does like to use that to his advantage, though.
True. Very true. True. Excellent. Well met all. That, gentle viewer or gentle listener, is the team. 6 of them. 6 heroes. Let's see what awaits them tonight. Before we go on, can I ask for a recap, please? Very quick summary, kicking it off from let's go with Pete and Graham. A bit of a summary of what happened last session, please.
Sure thing. So we started our first morning in M.E.R.P. Retana with a bit of a talk finishing the conversation about the job that our tavern keeper, Alan, had for us. We just had a little bit more talking about that. And then as a party, we left a lot of our items behind, but stowed some in packs, and went off to visit Ali bin Saud, who was the gall cat owner that we managed to sort of, without harm to the cat, we managed to sort of diffuse a situation where his cat, was going to perhaps kill people in the streets and probably would have been put down, who knows what. We went and visited him and had a little bit of a hiccup with our concealed weapons, but was skillfully, diffused by Askel, I believe, and with help from Severin. We went and talked with him, and he was fairly dismissive of us. He wasn't impressed by us. He was just perhaps going through the motions of hospitality, really. Until, as we were on our way out, Severin mentioned that we were, asked for information about Jasia al-Hafez, who was the person that, actually the main reason we came to M.E.R.P. Retana. In which case, so this was a contact we had through Ningwen, the magic user and diplomat that was a connection of Taneya's family. And when Severin mentioned Jasia, Ali bin Saud became quite interested and was definitely reacted to the name and reinforced the idea that this person is she is the chair of the Solar Council and very high up in the politics of M.E.R.P. Retana. He mentioned that she lives in the Painted House, and she's very well known, and that her chamberlain's name was Omar bin Ali, who's a half-elf. So I thought that might be useful information for us. After that, we left his house. We went and sold the cloth that he had given us as a gift. I think we had an opportunity to do more shopping, and then I think the party split pretty much, with the local language speakers going to the temple of the Ultima Faith to see, so this is Jaeda and Askel, to see what they can do about getting a demon out of Jaeda.
Perfect. Fantastic. Perfectly summarized. Anything else to add by anybody else? Nope. Okay. Well, if we're ready, let's start the game. So where we're going to begin is exactly that moment where Severin, Taneya, Nicholas, and Grey say farewell, or good luck to both Askel and Jaeda, as Askel and Jaeda head towards the Grand Ulaya, or the Grand Temple of Karsan, one of the major temple for the M.E.R.P faith. This is the sign of the M.E.R.P faith here, and this is the great temple here. They Askel and Jaeda head off towards this temple to, as just described, try to rid a curse that Jaeda had picked up previously in their travels. The two characters, Jaeda and Askel, walk across the square in front of the temple. They head up to the temple doors. See the temple doors there. The massive sign of Karsan, that one there, is over the doors. And they're lost to view by Grey and Severin and Nicholas and Twilight and Taneya. And you decide, as you elected last time, you suspected there might be an hour or so it would be good to get some tea, etc. And you sit down. You find a tea shop. You head. There are some awnings outside overlooking the temple, and you can see a depiction of the temple there. But you elect to sit inside, but still with a good view of the temple across the way. It's in front of a large courtyard. You go inside because it's raining, and you can hear the rain and the occasional thunder behind you. You've been in Jaeda and Retana now only for probably going on 24 hours, but the weather has been terrible. It's been firstly extremely hot and humid, and when I say extremely, we are talking today somewhere around a low of 35 degrees Celsius and a high of 41, and there's just a steady rainfall. It's grey, it's overcast. There's a bit of a moderate breeze, but you can just hear the rain coming down and the occasional bit of thunder. And you sit down, and the four characters enjoy some tea, and perhaps you muse on the fact of just being, whoa, that's quite loud, being not in the in-between, being in a different place and enjoying, frankly, some civilization. And the thunder, as mentioned, continues in the background, and you're sitting there for some time. And quite a long time goes past, probably about an hour and a half, maybe. Still no sign of Jaeda and Askel. Any actions I should be aware of from those four characters that are waiting outside?
Other mosques, or whatever the equivalent, whatever you call them.
Ulaya.
Are they open to any old bod?
They appear to be. There are guards that are checking people as you go in. You see people that are dressed like this outside, and they're certainly checking people as they go inside. But yeah.
Well, I guess Teddy could just go for a stroll without weapons.
Sure. All your weapons are back at the inn.
Well, I think we got a bag full of them. Haven't
Oh, sorry. Yes, some short swords. Yes.
we? So I should leave them with the party. Yeah, should just kind of wander over and see if she can have a look wander into the direction that the other two went.
Sure. Yeah. You head into the courtyards. So you head in, the main area there. It's the doors here, and that's the alleyway leading up to it. But yeah, you go inside. Everything appears to be perfectly normal, perfectly fine. There are people praying in the mosque. You can see, sorry, in the Ulaya, you can see that kind of that main building at the back there is where most people are congregating, and there are people in the inner courtyard as well, ducking in and out of the rain. It's not particularly nice weather to be out and around, but yeah.
No demons then.
No demons, no. I mean, perfectly normal city. I don't know whether Jaeda's got some PTSD or something from the in-between, but, maybe if she's expecting something horrible to happen, there's definitely nothing horrible happening here. It's a very average day in a bustling temple, in quite a clean, well-ordered city. It's your impression of Jebel Retana.
All right, well, I mean, she'll have a nose around. She can't hear anything. She'll just go back.
Sure, okay.
See anything.
Yep. Another couple of hours pass, and you rack up a bit of a T-bill. Again, no actions, nothing strange. And you're just kind of looking around. It's now getting on to very late afternoon. And yeah, you're aware. Suddenly, you're aware of a couple of things. First thing that kind of twig to is out the window. It suddenly seems to get quite a bit darker. So you're looking up that lattice slide there, and then suddenly the thunder seems to increase. And as that's happening, you look outside, and suddenly a number of the pigeons and birds around the mosque area, and there are quite a few pigeons around, suddenly all quite dramatically get up and leave. And then peering out the window again, you see the following. In the darkened skies above, there's this beam of light that comes down, and it's directly over the Ulaya, the temple. And the storm increases, and strange noises begin, and the beam of light that was over the Ulaya expands, and very, very quickly changes and spins into this shape. Suddenly there's lightning strikes coming down, and the clouds roll all around this building. And looking out of the window, you see this. Right above the Ulaya. That's almost an exact replication of what you see. And for a second or two, peering out the window, Grey, Severin, Taneya, and Nicholas, you think you might see that, just for a second. Any actions for you?
Keep our heads down. Wasn't coming. Where was it going? Up in the sky?
Coming down. No, coming down.
Which direction?
Down towards the Ulaya. And then the very...
noticeable to the rest of the population. I mean, this is hugely dramatic.
And then as you're staring out, from these clouds, suddenly beams of light rocket down from the clouds and just strike random pieces of the courtyard around the Ulaya. They strike people. They come down in all kinds of random spaces. No one seems particularly affected. No one seems injured, or people seem okay when these beams of light hit. But yeah, these rains of streams of light coming down. The rest of the population stare up, utterly bemused and terrified at what's happening above them. And very quickly, streams of people start rushing out of the Ulaya, hastened out by soldiers. Any actions from your 4 characters?
I'll just say no, Chris. I think your stereo open up a bit with the sound effects.
Okay.
Should we move and get away in case those guards know for some reason that we're connected?
Yeah.
Yep. Would we want to make our way towards in case we want to help, or do you think we'd try and get away from
I don't
it
know
because
that.
we know
I
what
don't.
it is?
I don't know that we can positively affect this. I mean, there's presumably some very powerful people in there. Chris, is there a back door?
Yeah, there's... look up.
I think we'll move and get out of there.
Okay. Alright.
And sort of maybe take up watch on the other side of the square, you know, just kind of at a distance, just to see what's going on.
Okay.
Preparing.
It might not be better to stay where we are, because we're already inside and out of sight.
Yeah, it's just that, I don't know if...
Someone might have seen us come here. True.
Yeah, and also, I don't know, we don't know whether if Jaeda and Askel may have, I don't know, been made to talk, or do you have, you know, I don't know. We'll kind of take cover on the opposite side of the square under a tarpaulin or something, or
Okay.
and keep our distance as far as we can.
Alright. So this effect, these rolling clouds that you can see, continue for some time, and they form mainly into something that looks like that, as described. The square clears. People just, everybody just gets out. There are no people on the streets. There are a few soldiers out in front of the temple. GM is just going to switch the sounds down a little bit now. There we go. We'll just do this, however.
Tell you what, we make for good spies, don't we? Another low-key entrance to a city.
Let me just do this. Go. So you... Yeah, there's no sound of anybody. The other than the bellowing thunder, which will perfectly time there, and these rolling clouds above, you're the only people on the square. There are a few guards stationed outside the Ulaya, quite heavily armed. There are about 10 or 15 of them kind of sheltering under a porch area, shields, weapons up. The rain has increased. It's belting down now pretty strongly. You guys are undercover, and you're just watching these clouds roll. The strange noises that accompanied kind of the beginning of this maybe were around for half an hour or so, and then they stopped. But there just exists above the Ulaya these bellowing clouds. Predominantly, that's probably the most kind of obvious. But the clouds twist and form. Sometimes they're like that, but the majority they're like that. And yeah, time passes. Nothing. An hour goes past, and other than the steady rain, nothing much happens. Other than a few people cautiously begin to come out of buildings, and a few shutters are cautiously opened as people clear out to see if the end of the world's happened or what. And then when nothing's taken place, the shutters close again. It's absolutely bucketing down now. Despite being undercover, you guys are getting quite wet.
What do you think, fellas?
I reckon.
What, send Ningwen in, you reckon?
Ningwen's safely tucked away in the hotel.
Okay, that is where Ningwen is. I was going to check on where the hawk is. Okay, so back to please describe, Grey. Where is Ningwen?
Well, Ningwen is Grey's pet hawk. She's a tracking hawk, or at least he's quite trained her to be a tracking hawk. It's not taking her out in the city because it's not a really good place for her to train to be a tracker.
Right.
So he's just kept her nice and safe with a little hood over her in her cage in his hotel room.
Okay.
He will take her out to some fields when he gets a chance to. He should fly off and come back.
Cool. Good stuff. Okay, thank you. Great. What do you guys do?
So the guards are in place.
Yes.
And
The doors. The doors of the Ulaya are firmly. Here we go. Probably no one's actually going to prayer. Fair to say. The doors of the Ulaya looking like. The doors of that building are firmly closed. Yeah. And the guards are outside, yes. 10, 15 of them, armed with spears. There are some crossbows as well. They're sheltering as much as they can under the rain, and they themselves are looking up at whatever's going on. You can kind of sense, particularly people like Severin, who's military trained. These people are pretty jittery. They're clearly ill at ease. They're concerned about what's going on.
What do you reckon, guys? I mean, do we just sit it out, or do we go in? Well, we can't really go in.
I don't think we can go in. No.
No.
I think we either sit it out or we leave someone. The rest of us go back to the inn, and one person perhaps stays, or two people stay. Happy to. I suppose we don't want to make ourselves conspicuous either.
Yeah,
No.
probably because no one else is there except for us and the guard, so it's probably smarter to go or try and find a reason to be around there.
Nicholas can cast invisibility on someone, if that would be helpful.
Well, I mean, Tanya could stay and just observe, I guess.
case.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Do we? Safe to say we know our way back to the inn accommodation.
Yeah. It's
Oh yeah.
it's a reasonably well marked. There aren't a particular plethora of winding alleyways, etc. It's quite well laid out, and you didn't travel that far. You walked maybe 20 minutes or so to get here. So yeah, you'd find your way back reasonably easily.
Okay, well, if Nicholas doesn't mind, Tanya will, they can find somewhere, a back alley somewhere for her to become invisible.
Yep.
She'll take her short sword and she will position herself somewhere where she had a good view of the square. Doesn't have to be very close, but somewhere where she's not likely to bump into anyone.
Sure thing.
And out of the rain, so she's not.
Out of the rain, so she's got a shadow of nothingness.
Yep.
And just keeping still, and she could do just being silent, really.
Okay, fantastic. So, who's casting invisibility, please?
Yep, Nicholas, he'll prep for 4 rounds and touch her.
There you go.
23.
Tanya, you're now invisible. Yeah, you do.
Right.
You do exactly as you describe. The remaining 3 characters do what, please?
Run away.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, back to the accommodation.
Move quickly
Back for a hot bath.
Yeah.
Okay. So the 3 other characters head back to the Grand Bazaar Lodge, situated, not surprisingly, at the Grand Bazaar. You don't know whether it's just the absolutely foul weather, and or this very ominous looking clouds hanging over, part of the city only 20 minutes away, but there are very, very, very few people on the street. You make it back to the lodge in good time. You're thoroughly soaked to the skin. What do you do, please, once you're there? Anything? Rest up?
Nicholas is keen to get dry, but I mean, he was hoping to catch a glimpse of the guy. That's not very helpful. No. Ali Sultan, the blasphemer, the rejecter of the flesh, the guy that's made a scene, and the job for Alan. So hoping to, once he and hopefully the rest of the party, because he wants support, if he's going to be trying to cast the spell on him, Nicholas would suggest perhaps hanging out in the common area and seeing if that guy turns up to have a go at doing the spell.
Okay, sure thing. Anything else from either Grey or Severin, please?
No, just watchful, get dry, get cleaned up. Just just watch the room.
Yep, Grey would be getting dry and getting all cleaned up as well, and then also just checking on Ingwin, sure she's alright, that the weather isn't freaking her out too much.
Probably most animals don't love thunder, so she's probably a bit twitchy. She would always appreciate, of course, a nice plump dormouse to make her feel better.
True.
Which you managed to procure. Okay, so Pete, talk me through, after you've gone to your very luxurious, and just a quick reminder about the Grand Bazaar Lodge. This is the common room. Very, very sumptuous, and you are all, as you can see on screen, very comfortably accommodated. Very comfortably accommodated indeed. So after you've come in, you've got dry. You can get don't forget it is very hot and sticky despite the weather. But once you've cleaned off, you've got dry. What does Nicholas do, please?
Nicholas will definitely be seeking support from Grey and Severin. want to be left, and he doesn't want to be a no mates Nigel down in the common room. And if it's about the right time of day, I suppose it would be.
It is, yeah, it is.
Early
Yep,
evening,
yep, yep.
would suggest that they go down, find a bit of a seat, if not talk to Alan, but at least make sure Alan knows that they're there, because they had that discussion about perhaps getting eyes on this guy. Can I just double check? So, Nicholas knows, I sort of seem to forget. So the problem that Alan had was he was what's his name? Ali Sultan made a fuss, was disparaging of his, using at a public event basically, and that's what he doesn't want to have happen.
Yeah. So in 2 days, there is suspicion from Alim, the owner of the Grand, and this is just to refresh people's memories. That's Alim there, the owner of and proprietor of the Grand Bazaar Lodge, a very well appointed, probably not the most, certainly a very well appointed place to stay, and definitely a place of comfort. There are private baths for people. There are, as I was showing you before, there were luxurious rooms. It's a very nice place. And in the common room, there's a reasonably common room, for want of a better term. There's a reasonably prominent 20-foot by 20-foot performance space. And you may recall that Alan took you aside and basically said, the day before, so yesterday when you arrived, you and your companions, I'm just gonna dial back that thunder just a smidge, just a second. I'll just make it slightly less loud. There we go. That you and your companions had done an amazing job at peacefully, with the operative word here being peacefully, managing to pacify a frankly very dangerous animal which had got loose in the city, and he was wondering if you could peacefully resolve a situation. So he has a very wealthy guest from down south, a man by the name of Ali Sultan. Ali Sultan pays very, very well and clearly has a lot of money. Ali Sultan comes up to Jaeda and Retana on a not infrequent basis on business. And when he does, he stays at the Grand Bazaar Lodge. No one can prove it, and there's no one's sure, of course, but there is a suspicion that Ali Sultan is part of the Maso Daihast, or the Rejectors of the Flesh, sometimes known as the Moors. And these are a group of people, a schism that happened in the M.E.R.P faith, the faith of both Jaeda and Askels. And these people are known as the Rejectors of the Flesh. They, as well as hating the Altumarians, they tend to despise consumption. So they tend to they strongly disagree with polluting one's flesh with sin. So excessive sexual behavior, drinking alcohol, food, drugs, etc., promiscuous behavior, all of which is quite permitted inside the M.E.R.P faith within certain bounds. So no one wants to prove that Ali Sultan is indeed of that faith, that schism. And also, because this is a free city, free cities generally are a little bit more relaxed. The main thing that governs free cities is commerce. Can you pay? Fine, no problem. So religious issues and religious problems are generally less of an issue in a free city than they might be elsewhere. A Maso Daihast, a Rejector of the Flesh, in the kingdom of Thamazel would probably not either live very long, would certainly be very poorly treated. But in a free city, might be able to get away with it a bit. Previously, Alan has told you when this man has come to stay at this very beautiful accommodation, he has caused problems when there has been performances on. and just generally being surly and unpleasant to people, particularly drinking alcohol or indulging in tobacco, and just basically causing ill humor. And recently, the last time he was here, some months back, there was the situation got so bad that there was a scuffle, and one of the bodyguards of Ali Sultan broke one of the patrons' arms here. Obviously not the kind of thing you want to happen in a well-to-do establishment. Alim is worried because in 2 nights' time, today is the 12th, on the 14th, there is going to be a performance by a group of dancers, and it is an erotic performance. There will be quite a bit of skin on display, and Alim is worried that Ali Sultan will come, sit in the audience, and as he did last time, create a problem. His request, of which you agreed, Alim's request to you is, can you deal with Ali Sultan and his arm-breaking bodyguard or bodyguards in a non-violent, non-confrontational, low-key, chilled-out way so other patrons can have a great night, can enjoy the spectacle, which promises to be pretty amazing, but without this Puritan sitting in the audience and basically ruining everybody's evening in 2 nights' time. Did that answer your question, Pete?
It does. I'm just looking for specific wording, basically.
Okay.
Yep. So Nicholas' suggestion to the group is that we find a place to sit in the common room. Make sure Alim sees us here, because the intention being, I'm assuming his understanding is Alim is going to point Ali Sultan out to the group, and we could just sit, and I think we got meals with our accommodation.
Absolutely, yes, yeah, well,
an evening meal, have a few drinks, see what people like, and perhaps talk about our hopes for Jaeda and Askel, and hope everything's okay, and in hushed tones, of course. But
okay.
But just basically spend the evening there, just on the off chance he comes in.
Okay, sure. So certainly, Alim, along with his right-hand man, Salam Ali Ban Faoud, who you've also met, and also you notice a couple of the other staff. There are a couple of what are definitely bouncers. 3 of them who look similar to this gentleman here, very large guys. They're in and around the common room, but not many other people. Whether it's the inclement weather or the strange sounds over the city or whatever, there are very few people in the. We're using the phrase common room, so let's go with that. The common room of the Grand Bazaar. After a while, Alim has certainly noticed you, and he discreetly comes over and comes up in quite a loud voice in front of both Severin, Grey, and Nicholas, and just says, "Gentlemen, how was your..." And he's speaking in South Tongue. "Gentlemen, how was your pheasant this evening? Did you enjoy it?"
Delicious. It was delicious.
The spices, not too intense, and I hoped you enjoyed the dessert wine that went with it. That was specially picked by me this evening. And the sticky date pudding, up to your expectation, I hope?
Amazing. It was fantastic. Thank you.
And he kind of...
Some more?
Yes, for you, my friend, Grey, isn't it? And he uses Grey's pseudonym. Of course. And he clicks his fingers, and he kind of accidentally kind of drops something, and as he bends down to pick up the thing he dropped, he just quietly says, "No sign of him tonight. I think he's still out at a business meeting. And if he comes in, he'll probably go through his private entrance. I suspect you won't see him tonight. But yes, I'll definitely get you some more dessert, friend Grey." And he clicks his fingers again. Any reaction from the 3 of you?
Just play it cool.
Yeah.
Do we maybe see if we can suss out where his private entrance might be?
Yeah. Well, do we? I think we probably don't want to arouse suspicion, do we?
True.
Yeah. And I think he's well guarded. So I think, yeah. But
just have a...
we've still got 2 more days, so try again tomorrow, and then there's the night of the event, maybe, or perhaps in the morning. Actually, try again. We didn't talk about that with Ellen.
Should we get him over?
Well, he seems quite aware of not having an overt conversation, so.
Yeah, no. All right, we'll leave it.
Enjoy our sticky
Yeah.
dip pudding.
I'll just go be present in the common room earlyish in the morning, next morning, if possible.
Okay, sure thing.
I guess we'll wait to hear from Tanya and just shoot the breeze and have dinner and few aperitifs and wait to hear what happens.
All right, sure thing. Again, just to impress on these characters, all of your characters, after a horrific experience, really, in this kind of strange, demonic, weird netherworld place that you've been in for some time, a number of days, as you've figured out since you came out of it. Being able to sit in a beautiful environment, enjoy delicious food, and hear the sound of the elements outside is really pleasurable. After horrible time, it is nice to enjoy a bath and good food and good wine and good drink.
Is anybody talking about what's going on?
Yeah, no, a number of people are, well, the few people that are in the common room, for want of a better term, yeah, people are talking and looking very worried.
What are they saying?
Just questions. Signs from the gods? Is it linked? A gentleman, a well-dressed gentleman, a few seats over from you is questioning to his companion reasonably loudly. It seems to like he's had a fair bit to drink. Is this related to this strange star that's been up in the sky for several months now? Maybe it is. His companion thought that the clouds formed over one of the temples or something, and yeah, people are quite jittery. But now it's just a very intense thunderstorm. Perhaps less worried. Any action from anything else from those 3 characters? Oh, okay.
Nope.
So it gets late. It gets very late, and Tanya, you're sitting out there in the rain, not in the rain, but out in the undercover in the rain, watching the square. I'll come to you in a second. It gets late, so 11:30, the sound of the bells toll to marking the half hours, and then finally it's midnight. Most of the serving staff are kind of cleaning up. What do the 3 in the common room do, please?
I reckon turn in, right? Not much we can really do.
Agreed.
Yep. All right. So, Tanya, very, very late for you. The other 3 go to bed. Tanya, you're on watch, and you spend your time, and I won't take you into a separate room. Spend your time staring at the doors to the Ulaya, and yeah, late, and then finally it becomes morning, and again the rain just has not stopped. In fact, it's probably even worse. It's probably even worse this morning, and you sit there as the square, I wouldn't say begins to turn to normal, but it's people are cautiously coming out. The thunder has definitely eased off, like quite a bit, and the rolling clouds above the Ulaya have diminished. Probably about 2 to 3 hours ago, they went from that to that to that, and then probably about 4 or 5 o'clock, they kind of these strange clouds or cloud formations of clouds in the sky have ceased. You continue watching, and you've noticed that the doors opened a couple of times over the course of the evening, and a number of guards have changed and lessened. Actually, there were 10 out front. There's now only 5, and their demeanour has changed somewhat. They're less kind of skittish, for want of a better word. And as I say, as dawn breaks, there's increasingly more people cautiously coming out into the square, looking up at the sky, looking at the Ulaya, basically looking around the city going, is everything still here that should be? And probably another couple of hours after dawn, sitting there, you're probably getting a bit peckish by now. The doors open, and a single figure walks out. A figure you recognize. Figure's limping. Clothes that he's wearing are blood-stained. Looks like that someone has tried to wash some of the blood out of it. And he's definitely looking the worst for wear. But probably the most noticeable thing that you see about Askel as he comes out and starts crossing the square, heading in the direction of the Grand Bazaar Lodge, is his hair. His hair, which was dark grey when you last saw him a matter of hours ago, is now shot through with grey. And at his temples, he's almost quite white. His face, Jaeda, you see, is haggard. He looks like he's aged about 5 years. And he's got dark bags under his eyes. He doesn't look very good. Taneya, what do you do?
Okay, well, when I see him come out, I'll looking around so that I don't want to bump into anybody or anything, but I'll intercept him in an area of space.
Okay.
If he's heading back to the hotel,
He is. Yeah. Well, yes, he is.
yeah, I'll just follow actually,
Yep. Sure thing.
and I'll just hang back to check if he's being followed.
Sure. Could you give me a perception roll, please? Now, to note, you are invisible, so there is that sheen around you. I mean, you are invisible and there aren't many people out in the streets, but just be aware that you are now more visible than you perhaps normally would be.
74.
74, thank you.
Plus 77.
Yep, just a sec. 74, cool. Okay.
Yeah, you got that. Yeah.
Taneya, you have a really good look around. I mean, in these absolute, this pouring rain, it would be hardish for someone to be trailing Askel. You're pretty convinced that no, he's not being followed.
Okay, well, I'll keep a distance. Just I'm kind of mindful, just to make sure that continues as.
Yep.
And I make sure that he's not followed as I follow him.
Sure. So he stumbles, basically. He looks shattered. He looks a mess, basically. He walks his way back, and you see him straighten himself up a little bit before he comes in and kind of has a vain attempt at putting his hair across his face. His clothes aren't utterly ruined, but you can see that the very nice clothes he was wearing, robes before he went in, have got stains on them. Somebody has tried to get the blood stains out, but they're clearly marked and stains, and in some places torn.
Can Taneya have the opportunity to catch up with him before he gets to the hotel?
Yes.
And basically announce herself to him and suggest that they go straight up the quietest, most direct way to their rooms, where they might not need to pass as many people.
Sure thing. Askel, suddenly this voice out of the ether, you're stumbling back in a pretty dazed state of mind. This voice out of the ether says that. What do you say and do?
Eskel would be pretty like, shock, surprise, like where's this coming from? Like, in his stumbling, he probably would have been perked up quickly, sort of like on guard. And just going, Taneya, is that you? Where are you?
Well, I mean, he's seen, or not seen Taneya invisible before, but he'll just, she'll identify herself and just say, Askel, let's go up to the rooms and get out of the rain and out of sight as quick as we can.
Yeah. Has Taneya made herself visible or?
No.
Okay. Is she leading the way, or is he just?
He's happy to. She'll say, "I'm about to take you by the arm. Come with me," and she'll bundle him in.
Okay. So you head in. There's not a lot of staff on. This is very early in the morning, and you head up. As kind of head through the common room area, up the flight of stairs, and as described a couple of times, the rooms that you are in have you're not in the best rooms in the house, but they're certainly very sumptuous. There's a small area where you've had a couple of meals. In fact, your very first meal, which was amazing, now 2 days ago, which has your rooms opening out onto them. It's private. It's only accessible by your rooms and a seventh room, which, as far as you know, is not occupied. You bring Askel in. A few people see you. A few guests. Alim, none of the main staff see you. Askel, no one stops you. No one pays you much mind. Although a few people kind of give you a couple of quizzical looks. You head upstairs, leaving kind of a trail of water behind you, and you go into that's kind of small dining area accessible to all of your rooms. Within short order, all of the other characters are alerted, and unless people want to do otherwise or do anything different, please tell me if you do. You all find yourselves sitting around the table with Askel, as described, sitting in front of you. What do you do?
Should we go into one of the rooms?
Or go into one of the rooms if you wish.
Let's do that.
Sure. You head into this room here on screen. What do you do?
That's lovely.
Excellent. What do you do and see? The GM's going to get a beer. Go for it. So please, role play it out. Go for it. Askel's in front of you. He looks a mess. He's now got grey hair, white as his temples. He looks like he's 5 years older, and he's got blood stains all over him. Go for it.
So Askel would be probably quite slumped in the chair.
Get up too much?
Probably let out a huge sigh.
Okay. Well, obviously everyone's quite concerned. I think Taneya will probably make herself visible. I think they'd speak in whispered sort of hushes and say, "What on earth happened?"
So Askel would be, we got the Bostrid, and he's trying to collect his thoughts. That it was going well. The ceremony to remove the class, and then this demon reached through a tear in the fabric of reality and clutched one of the artifacts and caused a disruption to the whole ceremony. And next minute I had to jump through and try and help Jaeda and recover this artifact. It was just, I don't know where I was, but it was this bizarre, well, I don't even, you can't really even call it a room. It was just, well, it was rooms, but they were just nowhere. But yeah, we succeeded. Like there was these demon dogs. There was Jaeda was praying and using her willpower to fight back. Had a couple of slip ups, but we got there and recovered it just in time. I was exhausted and collapsed, but thankfully Jaeda had got herself released, and we escaped back, and the ceremony was completed. But I'm mostly okay, thanks to Jaeda. But she's absolutely exhausted. She's resting. She's sleeping, and maybe for a few days.
And is the clasp gone?
Yes, the clasp was gone.
And what about the its inhabitant?
We believe. Well, the high priest, Namushi, I think it was. He said the demon, who's announced his name to us, was Bostrid, is gone. So success, but not sure at what cost though.
What do you mean?
Jaeda's still resting. We don't know if it's stopped any of the transformation, the change that was occurring to her. Don't know if it's stopped it or if it's reversed it, or we won't know. But she's being tended to.
And what did the local inhabitants of the temple make of all this?
They were pretty horrified. The high priest, who they had a lot of faith in, he was exhausted. It was exhausting for him too. He was sapped and drained from the process, but he was mighty. He was powerful. Many thanks to him for what he did. But everyone had faith in him, and he's definitely got up. If he wasn't considered the top, then definitely now he is.
And where did the demon go?
Don't know. It stayed behind in that other area, that in the nether, or whatever you might call it. It didn't come back.
And
we could tell.
What we saw a gold thing in the sky. What was that? A gold figure?
I don't know. I was in the temple. I was in this other world place. I don't know what you saw.
Almost like an angelic type figure, gold winged.
No, we definitely didn't see anything like that where we were. Tentacles and demon dogs and ever-changing demonic figure. Nothing angelic in there.
And what's happened to you?
Got a bit roughed up. The old there's these demon dogs. I was trying to get the artifact away from, and fortunately had a little bit of a slip in my flying, and came off a little bit second best from the dog, but got away. So that's why I've got these probably remnants of scratches and cuts. But thanks to Jaeda, and that's probably why that's why you can see that my clothes are a bit worse for wear.
What about the aging?
What aging?
You look about 5 years older.
Oh, do I?
You've got grey hair.
I'd say at that point, Askel would look for a mirror.
There is one around. Yep, there's several in your quite beautiful rooms.
Oh,
And you
so
now,
Askel,
you now see what described.
Askel would be quite shocked and concerned and horrified, touching his hair and, perplexed at what's happened.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
And
when should we go and collect Jaeda?
she needs more rest, so maybe we'd definitely go back and go visit her tomorrow. But we just need to allow her a rest. She's been well looked after, but yeah, we should visit tomorrow, or I can go back and visit.
I
Might be a
suggest
couple more days.
I suggest maybe that the rest of us keep some distance, so that we're able to perhaps meet our intended contact here, perhaps separately, just to cover ourselves a bit, because obviously we've made quite an impression on this city in a very short space of time. It might be good to try and well-timed thunder split the party. Do you think, guys, in terms of just trying to...
Yeah, definitely. We will be needing. Well, we'll probably want to all go with Askel to collect the ingots because he'll need to be cleared by the by the guard people at some point. But yeah,
I was just thinking in the meantime, maybe we just better that we don't cross paths.
Although I mean, Askel's not been linked to the disturbance.
Just quickly, any so there were a lot of questions from Severin or Tanya or both. Any reaction or comments or observation or anything from either Nicholas or Grey?
Yeah, Nicholas will be observing very keenly. He wants to see what trauma does on people's brains.
Gray would definitely be sniffing the air, trying to see if he can smell any evil on him, any demon stuff.
Give me a roll.
There you go. 77.
What's his perception, please?
His perception is 38.
Grey, your nostrils might be lying to you, but there's a slight odor coming off Askel of... Grey, you can't really put it into words, but wrongness. Just probably a way to describe it is when you have an experience and your hairs stand up on end. If you could imagine that sensation as a smell, that's what Grey's getting off Askel. Very faintly. Something
Would probably
just unnatural and wrong. Very badly wrong.
probably edge away from him a little bit. Just wanting to make sure there's a bit of distance and just keep observing him.
Is it contagious?
Maybe suggest he has a shower.
Nice. Okay.
Is there anything other than obviously he's been through the mill? Is there anything unusual about Askel that we? Well, actual fact, Severin will just sort of, as Askel's talking, subtly, discreetly put on his visible mask.
Okay. Yep. You probably need to kind of step out, go to the bathroom, whatever, come back, get it. Yep.
Put it on so it's not visible, and then as he's talking to Askel, do an Uber perception.
Sure. Give me a roll.
$26.
And what's the benefit of the mask again, please?
So his perception is plus 72, but the mask adds another 25.
That's right. Could you roll again, please, for that perception roll?
$86.
Yeah, he looks... Askel looks kind of... stretched. As... not to... plagiarize the master of all storytellers, but... he looks like... it's kind of butter spread over too much bread. He's just a bit... odd looking. Severin? It's just, yeah. He's haggard for a start, like physically in his face, in his demeanor. He's haggard. You think you catch a little kind of twitch of his left eye, kind of bugging out a little bit, but yeah, he just... he looks like Askel, but he doesn't look like Askel, if that makes any sense. Just... yeah.
So, Severin would like to ask a similar question to what he asked before, perceiving the answer, but also do a lie detection.
Sure.
I think as would Taneya. And just ask, what, but so this, just be really sympathetic, but then ask, but so Jaeda, say, if you're saying, where did this demon go?
Okay. Give me 2 rolls, please, Graham, but Askel, what do you answer?
I guess Askel would be quite tired and a little bit confused by the question again of where the demon gone. Is like, it's like I don't know. Is it like the Jaeda broke free of it in this in between, we might call it. She escaped, she flew out, and then we just fled, and then got back into this world, and then with the artifact, and they completed the ceremony, and then boom, it was gone. That just and priest said it was done. It was gone. The class just crumbled and fell off and was gone. So, what happens to demons? I couldn't tell you.
What were the 2 rolls, please, Graham?
2739.
Okay. And for the 27, what's the bonus? Or light perception.
Oh yeah, that is
So half of general perception if you don't have the skill.
no, they do. So Severin is 39. Taneya is 44.
Cool. Cool. Look, hard to be sure, because Askel, who doesn't quite look like Askel, but you think both Taneya and Severin, he's telling the truth.
Cool. Okay. Worth a check, you never know.
What do you do?
Oh, Nicholas would throughout that Nicholas would prepare, and Nicholas would cast Mind Store on Askel.
Okay, give me a roll, please.
It's not a bad spell. 68.
68. That spell is successful.
Cool.
What
All it does is cast a, and actually for a while, I mean, this is now an opportune moment to do it, in case there's something weird with his mind. Nicholas intends to do this by the end of the day, and perhaps he'll put rolls in the chat for all members of the party. Caster stores the mental pattern of target, can be later used to locate specific person through finding. Target must have previously been detected using presence or field. Oh, sorry, he'd need to do a presence spell first. That's okay.
Yeah, give me a roll.
Yep, 33.
Again, with adequate preparation, that spell is also successful.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you. So it's not doing anything harmful to anyone, but and I suppose I think he had asked every party member in the past actually, but I don't think I'd rolled for them. But he had sort of
just to check, Pete, is there a resistance roll needed for that? Is it an F spell, a force spell?
Nope, it's a UM, so
Okay.
it's a mental utility spell.
Sure.
So he just simply goes snapshot of their mind.
Cool, got it. Great, thank you.
Like in theory, that's the spell he uses when he's doing research on the effects of trauma on people's minds. Snapshot before, snapshot after. What's the difference?
Great, got it. Cool, thank you very much.
Yeah, if at the end of perhaps today, before we sleep again, he'd want to do that on the other party members, and I'll just put some rolls in the chat if that's okay.
Sure.
Yep, cool.
Anything but a 1 or a 2 is success, Pete. Okay.
Thank you.
Askel's back. Grey, your nostrils have been engaged. Severin and Taneya, you've done some lie perceptioning. Askel, you've told a tale. What happens now, please?
Oh, Nicholas would also congratulate him. Be
Yes.
very congratulatory and say thank goodness and well done and what a relief.
Yes.
Yeah,
Likewise.
Eskel would like to clean himself up, and he would like to sleep.
Sure.
Yeah.
Perhaps a little bit of food, but otherwise he would just like to sleep.
Okay. Done. All right.
I think probably Taneya would too, actually.
Yes, she'd be pretty tired from her stakeout. Other characters, the other 3 characters. What are you planning on doing?
Open to offers, really. Nicholas, do you want to go? I mean, do we make inquiries about getting you some research, shall we say?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing is to go and have a leisurely breakfast in the common
yeah.
room, make ourselves available for Alan to point out that guy again if he comes down. If not, then no worries. We just sort of go with it. But then, yeah, we're sort of waiting for Jaeda to be back on her feet. Are we going to... research would be a great idea, yes.
All right. Grey, Severin, Tanya?
Yeah, Great would actually, if there's a bit of research happening, he'd be quite keen to maybe find someone who could help him a little bit more with his studies, both in reading and in magic.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anyone like a school or something around that he could talk to a master.
Probably a library, right? But
A library.
Severin will be happy to accompany them. Not for any other reason, but...
Okay. Well, look. Speaking of Jaeda, so let's push things forward a bit into kind of mid-morning. Askel's gone to bed. Tanya's gone to bed to get some rest. The other three characters want to head out and do some research and some study, etc. But Jaeda, can you join me, please, in chat room 1? Hello.
Where is that demon? I thought it was gone. You're worried now. It's an Askel, isn't it?
No need to be worried. No need to be worried at all. So. Sorry, just sorting some sound effects. Oh, is that working? Oh, that's... Yeah.
Yep.
There we go.
Oh, lovely.
Lovely. So, Jaeda, you are at the Ulaya, and you sleep for a period of time and you rest. And as mentioned previously, you let's see if I can find an image, a corresponding image. Here we go. Your body just soaks up the rest afforded to you. A bit later on in the day, you wake again and you have something to eat and drink, and you definitely are feeling better, lighter, happier than you have in a long time. There has been this weight on you, and until it's actually gone, you haven't really fully understood how much of a weight has been on you. Your neck hurts where the clasp was, and part of you kind of misses a little bit where the clasp was. Might like to have it again, but it's gone. But generally, you're feeling healthier and better. You're still weak. You can definitely feel that you're still weak. Kind of mid-morning, the door opens, and the attendants, by the way, have been coming and going several times, and this man, Tumari Ali, knocks gently at the door and comes in. He opens it quite cautiously and kind of peers around the door. May I come in, child? He says.
Yep, Jade's nodding.
So he comes in, and he doesn't sit. There is a stool beside your bed where both Mulhi, Omar, and Askel took a seat. He stands above your bed and looks down at you and smiles. How are you feeling, child?
So I just let him know that I'm very tired and sort of some sort of strange craving and longing. But I'm good.
Yes, the Mulhi suspected that you may have this for some time, and it may come in waves. There may be days where you don't think about it, and then other days where you need it very, very badly. What I would say to you, and what the Mulhi has asked me to pass on to you, he's still resting, by the way. He's been asleep for the last few hours, but he asked me to say to you was, you just need to be strong, and you need to focus on good things in your life and positive things in your life to keep you grounded and to help you keep the desire away from wanting to get this object back into your life, this object which has caused you so much hurt and pain. My child, well, he also asked me to come here for another reason. He told me that during the ritual, as well as viewing into this thing, this creature, I won't even utter its name, but this thing that has been banished, and understanding it and what it does and a little bit about what it is and what it does, the Mulhi also saw into you too and got to understand you. And he described that you and people you know are undertaking a quest, a job. The more he told me, he saw a little bit back to your childhood, being an orphan back in Thamazul. He also told me, and he wanted me to say to you, that one of the things that he understood from you, and he really got to know you by all accounts, he got to see inside you, was that you have a desire to heal. You have a desire to help people. I mean, healing is your profession, yes, but you genuinely have a desire to help people. Was he wrong in that observation?
Not at all. I'm a healer.
And he thought he had a sense of what you wanted to do with your gift, with your ability to save people. Can you tell me what that gift is? What would you ultimately like to do?
I want to open a hospital.
Ha!
And I did say to him, if he can help me with this demon was inside me, that I'm happy to build a hospital. He'd be very grateful. I feel the demon is gone.
Well, yes, and he saw inside you that is the case. You know, of course, of the Singing Sisters, the Malveranon, and for Jaeda's benefit, the Singing Sisters Mar-Beranon are, and a description are now included in Jaeda's chat, if you want to know a bit more about them. So the Singing Sisters have a not insubstantial presence here in this outpost in the city, Jaeda and Retana. They are powerful and wealthy, as you know, and well liked and well regarded by many, not just by people like you and I, who of course know the true faith and look to the three as our saviors, but also by the heathens, by the infidel. The Singing Sisters are merciful, and they will ply their trade, and they will assist those that don't know the three yet, which is noble of them and to be admired. I mention this because if the Mulhi asked me to tell you, if you would like an introduction to the Singing Sisters, to these women of healing, the M.E.R.P, you would be welcome. They are well funded and they are very wealthy themselves, but perhaps you and they could find an accord, and perhaps your dream of opening a hospital, as you term it, or something to help people, they might be able to assist, or might be able to guide, or at least provide some advice of how you might be able to do it. No compulsion from our point of view, of course, but should you wish this to happen, once the Mulhi is stronger in a few days, he has asked me to tell you that he is very happy to sign a letter of introduction to the Singing Sisters, if that would be of interest.
Oh my gosh, I'd be crying. That's amazing. Exactly what I want to do with my life, and love for a letter of introduction, and to know where to find them exactly.
Oh well, they're easily found here, of course, but certainly let the Mulhi write the appropriate introductory letter, and when he is fully rested, of course, as I say, he'll be delighted to do so. In terms of your own health, how are you feeling?
Oh, good. And I'll ask about the Mulhi Mar as well. He didn't look so good last time I saw him.
He is an old man, and he pretends it's not the case, but it was. The struggle that he had last night with you and this thing inside you really took huge amounts of energy away from him. He will recover, and he will be fine, but it will take some time. But to answer your question, he is well. He is well. He likes you. He thinks you're a good person, and he is saddened that you had to go through this, and saddened that your faith had to be so horribly tested. But he likes you, and he wishes you well.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
How are you feeling?
Just tired. Probably this is going to last a while. It was a big fight.
Suggestion is you wait here at least until tomorrow, but if tomorrow you're feeling well enough, or beforehand, but if tomorrow if you're feeling well enough, you may of course leave whenever you wish, but our suggestion is you wait some time to recover.
Yeah. Oh, I'll wait here.
Very
Thank you
good.
very much.
Is there anything that I can get you, my child? Anything you need or want?
It's coffee.
I know none of this coffee. What is this? What is this?
You know, those Ethiopian beans that you might have heard of.
What is this Ethiopia? I do not know of this place.
Just chocolate.
What is this chocolate? I don't know.
Oh, dates.
Ah, I know dates. Yes, I can get you dates. I can get you a lot of dates.
Yeah, I need a lot of dates. Yeah, I need the energy.
There you go. He gets up. He bows. I mean, looking at him, you don't know if you're a particularly good judge of character, but he's definitely a different man to the Mohi. The Mohi has a softer side to him. This man is a hawk. He's harsh, functionary, but he has treated
What's his name?
This man, his name is Tomari Ali.
Tomari Ali.
But he gets to his feet. He bows and says, "I will ensure some dates are brought to you. Rest well, my child." And he heads to the door and heads out.
Wonderful. Do a prayer and a thank you.
Anything else from Jaeda, or anything else you do or say, or?
I think she's just going to rest and get her strength back
Sure thing. Cool.
before she goes to find the others, because she knows that Askel's gone to do something.
Yes.
She's just probably assuming that they're all coming to find her.
Sure thing. Join me back in chat room 1, please.
Yeah.
D&D the other week too. It was
I
good.
completely forgot about it. Sorry. I must have said it wrong. And it was, you enjoyed it?
Yeah. Back.
Awesome.
We are back. All right, folks. What happens?
Well, Nicholas was, I suppose, and Co. were happy. I suppose the same if Grey and Severin were joining. Were downstairs, seeing if we could capture a glimpse of Ali Sultan at breakfast time. No high hopes, but just in case.
Sure thing. Let's see.
Seeing if there's any more cake to go around.
Sticky date pudding, please.
Sticky day pudding. Regrettably, you head downstairs. You dine exquisitely, but yet again, no sign. And again, Alim looks across and just kind of catches your eye and just kind of shakes his head.
Hello?
Hello?
Go.
Oh,
Okay. Yep.
you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Ken. Sorry, I thought we'd lost you, Aiden. Hello, Aiden?
Sounds kind of dipping in and out.
Oh, can everybody else hear me?
Yes, can hear you fine, Chris.
Okay. Everybody else?
Yeah, Aiden's typing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Graham, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. Anthony?
For some reason, if Chris is talking, I can't hear it.
So can you hear me, Aiden?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Is the rain really loud?
Where I am? It's not raining at the moment.
What?
Sound effect, Rain. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded
I
like
can't. Oh, sorry, I can't hear any of that now.
No.
Maybe should I sign off and sign back in again?
Yeah,
See if that
maybe.
helps.
Maybe. Anthony, you can hear me okay, yeah?
There you go.
Yeah, it's just saying that rain's quite loud.
Okay, I'll try switching it down.
I can't hear it.
Interesting that Aiden can't hear it at all.
Yes, that could be the issue.
Oh yeah, I could hear that rain. It's
Fine.
gone.
You should be able to hear a little bit of rain now, but not too much. How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Hopefully, with a sign or a re-sign in of Aiden, it should work.
No, I can hear it.
You can? You good, Aiden?
I'm not sure I can hear it.
Oops. Hello.
Oh, can you hear me?
You're a bit faint, a bit distant.
Oh, weird.
Oh no, better now. No, you're good.
Ah.
You're good.
Okay, cool.
Yep, cool.
I won't move. I'll try not to move.
Excellent. Yep, and you can hear us fine.
Yeah, I can hear you all good now. Sorry about that.
That's all right. No,
Not sure what happened
just a glitch. All right. So yes, you head down to, as I say, for want of a better term, the common room. No sign, and Alim comes over and just catches your eye, shakes his head. No. What do you
Um, well, should it's just the three. Do you want to do some of your research?
Yeah,
Yes.
that'd be awesome.
Yep. Keen to do that.
Let's go do
Nicholas
some
can't
study.
speak the local language. Is Severin okay to translate because he's got earbuds? Ear cuffs.
Yeah, sure. He can speak South Tongue if that's helpful, or he
Nicholas
can
can
use
too.
the earbuds.
Yeah. Well, perhaps that could be useful as a backup anyway. The ear cuffs
Yeah.
because we don't want to be overusing them. But, yeah. I suppose if does Alan come over and talk to us, or can we catch a serving person, or Alan's Salih Ali bin Farouk, his sort of right hand man, and so, I mean, because he seems like the right person to ask about directions. Nicholas being a bit of a scholar, would like directions to any houses of learning, any libraries that that he could direct us to that would be for public use.
Salim looks a little bit bemused by this. But he says no. Yes, if you head down south of the Noble District, I forget its name. I mean, just simply called the Sanctuary by some. It's a place of research and scholarship. I'm not sure what traveler types like you would find interesting there, but yeah, the Sanctuary is probably somewhere to try.
Oh,
Sounds nice.
Thank him.
That's lovely.
Maybe get a massage.
Do we have any? This is a slightly odd reaction. Do we have any knowledge about why that would be? What the story is in this, I suppose, in this culture or in this city about libraries and learning. Felt there was something odd going on there.
Sorry. What? To who? Sorry. What?
Oh, sorry. Does Nicholas have general knowledge about why that would have a slightly odd response? Is that a silly question to ask, sort of thing? Is he making a? Is it,
give me a general knowledge roll, please.
yeah. Just of the city or of the sort of culture or of
Sure.
Oh, good. That's a 10.
It's Master, don't forget, Pete.
Oh, cool. I suppose he should really ask Askel, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. I suppose if Askel's asleep, he won't do that. But
yeah, he doesn't really know. I mean, Nicholas has come from a Thracian background. These, barbarous Arab type people. Yeah.
Well, he does have general history Thumbazald.
Okay. What's that?
Plus 38.
And what was his general knowledge?
His general knowledge is 58.
Okay. Yeah. It's a pretty standard question. Maybe it's just down to the person he asked.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Just felt that was a little bit of a bit of a surprise, like a little bit of a you're missing something here sort of answer. Cool. Okay. Well, we'll find out.
Okay.
So what was that? Sorry, what was the answer? Was that south of the Noble District?
Yes.
The Sanctuary. Yep. Do we have an idea of the direction for that?
You probably would if you spoke Haradanian. Do you speak Haradanian?
He does not.
Sorry, what do we need here? Directions.
We could try on South Tongue, but I think Herodanian's a better
Well,
option.
I mean, yeah, we can have a crack in South Tongue.
Okay. It takes you quite a while. And I'll just get a little bit of market voices going, because even with the appalling wet weather, people have begun usual life again. It takes you a bit of a while. I mean, the sense you have is, without a doubt, Herodanian is the major tongue here, along with Vastenspark, or Eastern, the Easterling tongue. There are some people that understand South Tongue, and after kind of a bit of trial and error, kind of fumbling your way through, I think every single person on this, as part of this game, has spent some time in a place where you don't know the language. Oh, excuse me, can you take me to? Oh, you don't understand, and then you go to the next person, and then, but you find somebody, and you after a bit of time, you find someone who can figure out some South Tongue. And in the pouring rain, the three of you, I think, Grey, Nicholas, and Severin, make your way to a relatively unimposing building, quite beautiful. Old columns, a little bit the worse for wear, perhaps, but then again, that's worse for wear in a relative sense in this city, where things are generally quite well maintained and quite beautiful. This is perhaps a little bit run down. It's not massive, but quite a beautiful building. And you're informed that this is the sanctuary, a place of knowledge.
Fantastic. What it looks library-like.
Yeah. Well, hard to. Yeah, you're assuming so. Yes.
Is it? Oh yeah, I suppose if we just head inside.
Yeah. A couple of street scenes for you of passing through Jebairima. You open the doors, head inside. Kind of low key. Not particularly busy. And yes, one of the immediate smells that hits you is the smell of old parchment, old paper, old books. And yes, rolls and rolls of scrolls and rows of bookshelves.
I think Severin would probably activate the his mind voice earbuds, speech true.
Give me a roll, please. Only going to fail on a 1 or a 2.
21.
21.
I got what, 2 and a 1.
A 2 and a 1.
So,
Yeah.
Spell successful. For the next hour, you can understand anything spoken to you. Yeah. You open up the doors. You're in. What do you do?
So, taking, I guess, Nicholas's lead on what exactly he's looking for, and Grey's lead, Severin will do his best to communicate that in the local tongue.
Yeah, you find a young man dressed in light green robes. Several other people of that description kind of shuffling around, moving books around. This place is, as I say, is not busy. It's not huge. It's it's not definitely not a massive building, but you catch his attention, and he comes over to you. Yes, how can I assist?
But you could assume that Severin will translate whatever you wish to say, you guys.
so Nicholas would be inquiring after The problem will be finding in a language Nicholas can read. He can read the Bronic and he can read Westron. Not fancy our chances, but that's okay. That's what we get. We might as well try. He is after books of learning about magical arts. He'd like to, there's a healing law spell he would love to learn, which is a prosaic magic. And assume that'll be fairly accessible. There's a mentalism spell called E-Mastery, which I believe is an open. I'm not sure. It's just from Spell Law 2, so it doesn't tell me if it's open or closed. And then there's a quite obscure spell, which is for a rogue elementalist called Greater Elemental Attacks. So that one he's not expecting to be able to find at all, but was wanted to inquire about any of those sorts of subjects.
Okay.
And
Sorry, and Grey?
Grey's super interested in any books to do with illusion spells or barrier law, because he's just started to learn how to use that magic. So anything that can teach him more about it, he's really keen. He can read Heldegurin, and a little bit of South Tongue as well. So anything in that would be great.
Heldegurin?
Heldegurin? Yeah, Heldegurin.
I
think that's
Paradate?
Northern.
Oh.
Heldegurin?
Let me just check. Okay. Or South Tongue. Okay. So
picture books also great.
for Bronic, you said Pete, and South Tongue, yes?
But for Nicholas, the
Yeah,
Bronic
Nicholas.
and Westron.
And Westron.
Not so lucky, but
Okay. Yeah. You're in luck for Westron. The prosaic list that you're after. Prosaic. Now, just as a quick description for both viewers and players, magic in this game is broken into 3 realms. Channeling is the magic of the gods. Essence, which is the magic of all of around us. Basically, think of the Force or fire spells, etc. So elemental spells, and mentalism, which is the power of the mind. There are rumors that there is types of magic that can actually meld all 3 together. The old magic called, it's called lots of different names, but basically arcane knowledge is what that's termed. There's a kind of there is a 4th type of magic, and it's called prosaic. And prosaic spans all of the realms because it's considered relatively pedestrian. It's considered easy. It's considered non-harmful. So a lot of the deeper magic is involving spells that can do powerful things, affect other people, or be offensive, or have a major effect on the world. The prosaic lists tend to be reasonably prosaic. They tend to be reasonably focused on fixing or changing or assisting relatively mundane tasks. And as a result, knowledge about those lists and their accessibility is pretty common. The printing press has been around for several hundred years now, and a lot of books are now printed as opposed to laboriously handwritten out. And indeed, coming to a place of learning such as this, and asking for a book on deep magic, you might be out of luck. But asking for something like prosaic magic, and in a language that isn't particularly common here, and that was lucky, me rolling what I did. Yes, Pete. The language, the spell list that you're after, remind me again which one it is, please.
Oh, healing law. It's Keros' one with cauterize on it.
There you go. Yes, that is available. and it's in Thebronic. And yeah, you're very welcome to have a read if you wish. No charge.
That's very lucky. He would love to. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
In terms of Grey, what levels does Grey read, please?
Sorry, I realised after I said what he was reading that's actually not what he can read. He can read South Tongue only.
Yep.
To level 4.
Level 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So level just to level 4. Just out of interest, the description. No, I won't go. Oh, maybe I've got it here. Maybe I do. Yes. So level 4, the description of level 4 is user can read moderately simple writings and understand most of the details. User still has trouble with the subtle concepts, basically newspaper level of reading ability. Allows user to write sentences at a 5th grade level. And you're asking for something, what type of spell list is it, please, Ray?
Sorry.
What's it called?
Illusions?
Illusions?
Barrier law?
Illusions? Barrier?
Open mentalism?
Okay, it's an open spell list. All right. Okay.
Or open channeling.
Or open channeling. Yes, of course, because you have the amazing ability to access any spell list. It's a really, 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 really powerful skill that you have. So, in this city, there is a 20% chance, I'm going to say a 25% chance, that there is a book in South Tongue. If it was Haradanian, it would be like a 90% chance. 25% chance, let's see if there is. Exclamation RD100. No, sorry, he shakes his head. Sorry, we don't have... we have in other languages, definitely. And for an open... And again, for viewers of this channel and for players, knowledge in lists is broken down into open lists, which is relatively accessible, relatively non-powerful, relatively easy-ish to find, versus closed lists, which is exactly that. These are deeper, more powerful, challenging, powerful lists, and often the secrets of those lists are not as easily accessible. Depending on the type of lists, open is relatively can be relatively easy to find and access. Closed, not so much. Your characters will be aware that in some places it's possible to even buy for probably quite a bit of money, open lists in the open market, depending on the list. Probably lists that involve offensive capabilities, probably not, but other lists maybe. But no, in this case, no. South Tongue is spoken here in the city, but they don't have any books, or they don't have anything written in that language. They have the lists you're after in Haradanian, yes, definitely, and in Vastenspark, but not in South Tongue.
So, Chris, can they be, in terms of what Grey needs to do to learn those, would it be useful copying them? I mean, because we obviously have characters that do speak Haradanian who could translate those, presumably?
Sure, it would take some time, several days to write those out, but yeah, that'd be possible.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Are there any medieval photocopiers?
And there doesn't seem to be kind of any charge here, that no one's particularly bothered. It's quite relaxed, quite low-key. But no, sorry, Grey, they don't have anything that can assist you immediately.
Okay. Well, I mean, Severin will keep chatting, and he'll ask whether that they know of any other sort of repository of these sorts of writings, and also whether they know of a place that buys and sells in items of magic in the city.
Magic. What kind of magic are you referring to?
Items that have spells embedded within them.
Yes. The young man pauses a little bit. I'm not from here myself, but yeah, let me check. Let me go and speak to one of my superiors, if I may.
Certainly.
He comes back and he says, I mean, incantations, like objects in incantations, correct?
That's right, yes.
Well, not far down here is Perissim's and Gossamer's tinctures. They tend to specialize more in balms and potions and lotions, but they do. So my colleague says occasionally trade in items of, as you say, things that are enchanted or things that can assist you. Yes, they do.
Interesting.
Another one that they recommend, it's further afield from here, but relatively well known, is Bati's oils and elixirs. That's quite well known. Again, more commonly potions and tonics, but occasionally we'll deal with items. I don't know if that's of use.
That's great. Thank you very much. That's really helpful.
There's also,
we'll take note of those.
There's a third, just actually very close to here. I remember it myself. I passed it 2 or 3 days ago. It's just simply known as the Fox's artifacts and relics. I mean, they tend to trade more in historical items, but absolutely, I have heard that there are incantations and my friends, sisters, aunts, roommates, colleagues, Parrot's godson recommended that he managed to get an item there that was able to cast quite a wondrous spell. That was some time ago, of course, but you might want to check there too.
Thanks very much. That's really useful.
No, you're welcome.
I imagine they've got a handle for what's an acceptable tip in this country.
Sorry, who are you asking?
You about whether we have a handle on what an acceptable tip is in this country.
Oh, you've been here for 48 hours. No.
Oh, we've not seen anyone. We've not tipped anyone at the table or anything, or.
You're in an all expenses paid guest house. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you'd think that some money is always appreciated. You're being charged, I think, a bronze a night. A few tin would be appreciated.
Yeah, well, I'll slip him, just a token of thanks for the information.
Oh,
it's really helpful.
He looks very appreciative, and thanks you.
Right, better take them off then.
What's
anything else? Should we go and check those places out once you're done?
Yeah.
Cool thing. How long should Nicholas be studying this list to learn it? And does his research skill help?
Define research. What does the skill say for research, please?
Find it. Research. Bonus for locating and correlating information concerning a specific topic, question or point of research. Use of this skill assumes the character has access to the proper and relevant research and study materials. So no, not really, I suppose. I could have answered that myself,
No,
sorry.
I'd still give you some skill to learn it faster. Normally it would take you, and I have got this written down somewhere, so I'm gonna make it up on the spot. I'd say normally it would take you a month to learn a list. I'm gonna say because of that you could probably pick it up. Because of that you could probably pick it up in 2 weeks.
Cool. Any option for copying it? That's what we did the other time.
Yeah, for a prosaic list, they really don't seem to be too bothered.
Cool. How long to copy?
Couple of days.
Yep. Okay, so that's Nicholas's job he wants to be doing for a couple of days, but as long as it seems quite open access to this place and he knows where it is, he could just come in independently.
Yeah, sure.
His own stuff, and yeah, cool. So yeah, he's happy to go to investigate the Fox's artifacts and relics and all the other ones, and he'll come back later.
Okay. Cool. Right. Just to check in, Askel, it's kind of mid-afternoon. You're awake. You're feeling better. The same with you, Taneya, after a bit of sleep. Anything that your characters are saying, doing, anything at all? Anything I should know about?
I think Askel would probably, now he's getting a bit rested. Just I guess we'll confirm how much does he yield, like HP and
Yes.
points. Whether it was only quite a few hours, so it's not really a full regeneration. So communications there.
I'm happy to say he would have slept, if not the full 8 hours, close on it. So he's back to 50 hits, and feeling much better.
So he has double healing. Don't forget.
Oh well, no.
He was on 42.
Yes. So call him on 55.
Okay.
Yep. And the other thing I was going to say was he did have a penalty at the start of the session. He doesn't anymore. And Taneya, you did have a penalty of -10. You're now down to -5. Yep. Taneya, anything to note for those other two characters?
No, I don't think so. They'll just chill out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Askel would be just looking at his clothes. He'd be considering whether it's. I don't know if he had bought a pair of extra clothes when they went out that day to get those clothes that are now spoiled. If not, he'd consider going out.
Okay.
But not alone. He's still feeling a bit exhausted.
If you recall, the robes that he got, the quite impressive robes that he got, were able to be found in the actual courtyard of the Grand Bazaar Lodge. There was like a courtyard area inside. You could quite easily go down and for double the amount of money, so double the normal cost of a cloak or a set of robes, you'll be able to recover a very good, not exceptional, but a very good, double the quality of a normal, basically flowing gown that the Arab people would wear. That's without leaving the confines of the Grand Bazaar Lodge.
Yeah. I guess Askel would tend to bumps and bruises and take a pause and perhaps go and peruse those clothes. Clothes, but then otherwise just return probably. Pick back with a good book or something.
Sure. So if you're wanting to get something as per usual, just mark it off the XP sheet and jot down any expenditure that you have.
Yeah.
Cool. And also, Askel, your microphone is just a little bit off there. I don't know if there's anything, if you're in a different position or something, but it's just a little bit hard to hear you. Not a biggie, but anyway. Okay, Other characters, the three of you, what are you doing, please?
I think we should go to Emperor Ming's Magic Emporium.
Yeah, can't wait.
Do you mean the fox's artifacts and relics?
That's exactly what I meant.
Yeah, that one.
Whilst you've got the earbud time.
Yes. Quickly.
Yes.
All right. All right. So you locate it. You using the fact that you can speak. You heading down Wood Alley. In a slightly interesting quarter of town. Definitely a little bit more run down than what you've seen. I mean, this city has been definitely more upscale, cleaner, tidier than you've normally come across, but this is maybe a little bit more down at heel. The shop that you're directed to is a two-story building of stone walls with several leaded glass windows. It's dimly lit and reasonably shabby from the outside. There's a sign swinging outside that just simply has a picture of a fox.
Okay, well, is it open? Do we knock or go in, or is there an open door?
With this rain, no, it's closed. But there's a very large bronze knocker, quite low down. You notice, kind of midway part down the door. You notice.
Okay, give it a little knock.
So you bend down, thump the door, and you just hear this very deep, slightly feminine voice just bellow, "Yes, enter!"
All right, Harlan.
Okay. So, as described, dimly lit, not a lot, a number of candles around, but what with the grim kind of day outside and the amount of rain that's coming down, it's reasonably hard, moderately hard to see inside here. There's a lot of dust and a huge variety of objects. There's certainly a lot of things in bottles. There's a few weapons dotted around. There's some staves. There's definitely a number of scrolls and bits and pieces. There's random pieces of armor dotted around. And sitting in the middle of the store, in a probably the best way to describe it is like a well of light. So there's like a sky hole above the person. There's a lot of light coming in. But they're sitting directly in a point where there's a skylight, we would call them, sitting in a point where basically a circle of light is a short, a dwarf, female dwarf from what you can see, very hairy, and she's got an eyeglass, something to enhance her vision, and she's peering down at a pretty tattered looking piece of chainmail. She says in Haradanian without looking up, "Yes, come in, how can I help?"
So Severin will politely ask, maybe looking for some items of interest with sort of magical ability embedded within them, and wondered what you might have.
She looks up. Who's asking, stranger?
I think Severin will be very polite and introduce himself under his pseudonym, and introduce his friends and bow very lowly.
So, what would be helpful, friends, Severin, using the pseudonym, is if you could tell me exactly what you're after.
So, Grey, what you'd be after axes, or what would you be?
Any some axes What would be great would be one that would maybe also give me some kind of benefit, some kind of plus, ability or something.
So yeah, Severin will pass that on, and he'll throw in any rings or. Now Jaeda wants some PowerPoint kind of beneficiary, doesn't she?
Yes,
EP multiplier. Yep.
And
preferably
also,
without demons.
yeah. Well, I won't. Yeah, let's hope so. There might be a no demon guarantee. I'll read some of the small print. Anyway, yes, that kind of thing.
Ladder, if possible.
So Severin will talk about the weapons that Grey wants. Mention the PowerPoint multiplier for Jaeda, and then we'll throw in rings of any interest, or indeed some magic plate mail.
Can he ask about a spell adder too?
And a spell adder. We'll have a lot. Spell adder. And a Vorpal sword for each of us. Thanks.
What about any curiosities that she's got? Just she thinks is interesting.
Yeah. Wow. See what she says.
So she muses and kind of looks between Severin and Grey as you chat about this. Axe, you say? She says. What kind of axe?
A throwing axe. No, maybe not a throwing axe. No, a big one.
A big one.
A hand axe,
The upsize larger end of the axe scale, please.
So Grey tends to use a hand axe.
Yes.
You are in luck, she says, looking at Severin.
Ooh.
I've got 2. And she walks over and she brings out a very quite a beautiful piece of metal. It's clearly well crafted and definitely well done. And she says, this is white alloy. It's a non-magic. It's made from iron and carbon. And it's an impressive weapon. I've had it sitting here only a few days. If you're interested.
Yeah, Grey is interested. Does it give you any kind of power or power points or anything like that?
I could let that go for she kind of thinks and muses. $600 silver pieces, 600 silver pennies. Grey, reasonably well known. White alloy would give a plus 15.
Ooh,
All right.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You got bags of cash.
He's got a bit of coin. He'll say yes to that.
Okay, so that's
How much was that? Sorry, 600 silver pennies.
600 silver. Now in this game, 1 gold piece is worth 10. Sorry, let's start at the bottom. 10 tin pieces is worth 1 copper. 10 copper pieces is worth a bronze. 10 bronze is worth a silver. 10 silver is worth a gold. So that's 60 gold pieces.
Okay, let me just check that he's got enough money.
Yeah, you got bags of cash.
Yeah, it does quite a bit.
Before we might, try a bit of a little bit of haggling. Let's see what else she's got, shall we? Before we start forking out.
Sounds good.
So yeah, that's very interesting. My friend will be possibly interested in that. Anything else while we're here?
You mean of a hand axe?
No, such things as in, I appreciate this is a bit of a long shot. A sort of magical imbued plate mail, or PowerPoint multiply. I don't know what that. PowerPoint multipliers. I don't know what colloquially that. How you express that. And any sort of rings or anything of interest. Discreet type items. Amulets of the like, or.
She thinks about it. So it was... Sorry, I was just musing on hand axes for a second. Plate, rings, and spell over, yeah?
Yeah, amulets. Nice pair of earrings. Don't want to Askel to outdo us.
Armor, no. I got some chainmail, she says. She holds up the chainmail that she's working on with her eyeglass. It's got quite a few... I mean, chainmail has holes in it. This has quite a few more holes in it. Give it to you cheap if you're interested.
That's very kind. I think I'll pass on that one. But any insert colloquial phrase, PowerPoint multipliers?
Sure thing.
Rings, amulets, earrings, brooches,
None of those.
pendants.
Yeah. It's not something I trade in much, I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Anything else while we're here, chaps? Does she do... would it be alright to, with potions and herbs, if we came back to you before the next game, Chris?
Yes. If you put a wish list in, not so much for potions, but certainly for herbs, if you put a wish list in of what you'd like to buy of herbs, heading to a herb shop in town, I can definitely let you know of what's available, what's not, for sure.
What kind of potions she got? She's got a lot of liquids in there, right?
Yeah, she thinks about it. It's coming, guys. Oh, damn it. She says, well, it's been a bit of a tough last couple of months, and I haven't got a lot of great stock in, but I've got this one. Oops. Just 1 second. Just 1 second, caller. Yeah. Sorry, my computer is just being a pain in the backside. Yes. So, this one here, and she takes down like a bluish green liquid. She says, this one helps people mature, so helps them grow. Basically, given to a small infant, they will grow quite rapidly. Basically, ages any youth into adulthood, into a very short period of time. Quite a dangerous potion. Don't get a lot of call for it. This other one, this one here, it's a bit nasty. I don't get much call for this either, and I kind of question your motives for using it. It takes down a bottle of kind of pure black side, catch kind of flecks perhaps of gold inside it. This one here, if someone drinks this and they don't have a strong ability to resist, that's it. Their hearing's gone permanently. There's this one here. She goes over and this is probably the last one I have. Might interest you. Unless you want one for warts. Do you want any of you have warts?
Let me just check.
Ingrown toenails. I've got plenty of those. No,
I'm alright, thanks.
This one here. This one, if you a bright red one. If you consume this, for one day, for 24 hours, you would have just a lot more, how to describe this, just more agility, really. You'd just be a lot more agile, not so much faster, but definitely a lot more agile. Like, a lot more agile.
And how much is that?
That there is 25 gold pieces.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Quite a lot.
I wonder if there's any side effects to that.
Being a lot less agile for the 24 hours than the next 24 hours.
Probably.
Well, I think we'll take the axes, right?
Yeah, keen for the axe.
Okay. Mark off 60 GP. The axe is now yours. You have a plus 15 axe to your fighting ability. Great.
Nice. Nice one.
Yay.
Do you think we'd be able to repeat that? Doesn't we have? I mean, you know, no need to play it out if you rather not. If we could play that out in the other establishments that were mentioned.
Yes. What I might do in slower time is come back to you with those two other places and tell you what items might be for sale in those locations, if that would be helpful.
Cool. And I guess the other thing is maybe to ask is whether, you know, items can. Is there a place in the city where items can be fashioned and made?
Yes, there are definitely alchemists, and this woman, if indeed she is a woman, Thundul is her name. She recommends, yes, a couple of alchemist stores that will actually craft items for you. They're not going to be cheap, she says, but she can make some recommendations.
That'd be most kind of you.
She passes on a couple of suggestions for you, which I'll include in the material I send out.
Marvelous.
Any other actions for today? So, Grey, you managed to purchase an axe for 60 gold. I'll come back to you with the 2 other establishments of what they might have for sale. Anything else I should be aware of?
Perhaps instead of going to the other establishments, Nicholas would head back to the sanctuary to begin his copying.
Okay.
Cool.
Any other... it's just on 10 o'clock, guys, so might be good to wrap soonish. But just to move things on a bit, any characters wanting to do anything in particular today? Or this evening?
No, axe, play with his new axe, I guess. Chop
Nice.
some wood.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we'll, I guess, try and intercept the person we're supposed to be intercepting in the restaurant tonight and see if that happens. Otherwise, reconnect with the rest of the party and hopefully catch Jaeda at some point.
Definitely not. Alim tells you that Ali Sultan hasn't actually been seen for today. He doesn't know where he is. His room is still occupied, but he actually didn't come back to his room last night, which is unusual.
Ooh.
The remainder of the day, you come back. Grey, you're absolutely delighted with your purchase. I'll send out some information on the other items that you managed to locate and prices, and if people are interested in purchasing them, let me know in the meantime. And I'll also send out some information separately on alchemy shops as well. Other than that, you head back, you rest up at the Grand Bazaar Lodge, and Askel, you and Taneya rejoin your companions. You're feeling miles better, Askel. You head to bed after a delicious dinner. It wasn't pheasant this time, but it was something equally tasty. And you all wake. You head to bed. You actually, a number of you enjoy a couple of ales. Nothing too hectic, no hangovers or anything. But you enjoy yourselves. Definitely, you enjoy yourselves. And you go to bed. You wake the next day. Which is the 14th, and regrettably, yet again, for the 3rd day that you've been here, you arrived on the 11th, it's now the 14th. It is absolutely bucketing down with rain. It's the morning of the 14th of moons. It's hot and sweaty, and there we go, there's a thunderstrike in the background. It's the 14th of moons, and that, unless anybody has anything crushingly urgent to say, is where we'll begin next session.
Cool.
Cool.
Good.
Cool. Sounds good.
What I would say for both party members and also for any viewers is, if you're interested in watching the side quest of Askel and Jaeda, the same time as this video will be released, or around the same time that this video will be released, a 5-hour extravaganza of Askel and Jaeda's escapades will also be up on YouTube. So if you're wanting to see exactly what happens to Jaeda and Askel, have a look there. Otherwise, catch you next time.
I did think it was fairly hefty.
5 hours. Yep.
2 sessions.
It's chunky. It is chunky. There we go, guys.
The devil finds work for idle hands.